a song coming on. ABBA's that, isn't it? Happy New Year. Right. I should write my list of things. Because I said I was going to write a list of things. And I just didn't do it. Right. I'm just eating my nuts. Is Witch Hazel live? I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? No. Not telling me. I don't want to switch anything. View your channel. Live. Yeah, I'm live. It's worked. How's everyone doing? Happy New Year. I've already said that, haven't I think? Here's the comments section. We're good, right then. On the agenda. Hey Dan, how's it going? We are live. Live and kicking. How are you doing, Dan? Having a good day? I can see it on the screen. This is quite useful actually. Oh, covered a Witch Hazel song. I feel like I might have seen that. I'll probably check it out now. Just write me a little list. Don't forget anything. It's like what's it called? When you ever meet an AGM, I've got brain fog at the moment. Like you have an AGM and you have like minutes. What do you like, an itinerary? What's it called when it's like an agenda? There you go, that's what it is. I'm writing the agenda for the meeting today. Slacking, yeah. Tell me about it. Evening Keith, how's it going? Right, how do you do this? Just find the list. Right, that's about it for the list, really. So yeah, there's nothing really massively planned for today. Just looking on the screen, look a bit funny. Not too bad for a Monday. Oh, Dan's got his first white guitar. That's how you do it. I'm not sure how many white guitars I have at this stage. Quite a few. I've got two hanging up on my wall at home. Oh yeah. Just writing me a little list, don't mind me. Something I should have prepared earlier. Like on Blue Peter. Cool. Right then. Not too bad for a Monday. I've said this before, but I quite like Mondays. Mondays are alright. I'm feeling quite tired today. We had quite a full-on weekend. I'm not really sure what we even did. I think we went to Blackpool. My daughter had a birthday. We did other stuff. I had a few roast dinners at least. Will we be able to catch Witch Hazel in the States soon? Well, we're squeezing in a little visit to Texas at Hell's Heroes Fest. So we've got one date. I can't imagine us doing more than one date. We have work for the week after as well. We're going to be no good to anyone. But yeah, Witch Hazel in the States needs to happen. we're getting more and more, as I think the fan base is, we're getting more and more keen to tour, but it's trying to make it happen practically. We're getting there. We're getting there. We are making plans. We're hoping to do like a little stint next year somewhere in Europe. We haven't even really properly started organising that yet, but we are having discussions with our booking agent, who's really good at this sort of thing. We of course have no idea, because we've never done it before. Evening John, how's it going? Yeah, get yourself to Hell's Heroes Festival. Let's go Hell's Heroes Festival. I think it's in Houston. I think Houston, I think is where it is. Houston. Yeah, I think it's Houston. So check it out. Get yourself booked on. I think they're releasing day tickets as well. Fairly soon, or have already. I'm sure I saw something about that recently. But I think it's about 80% sold out, the festival so far. Something like that. But it's all good. So I thought I'd do a little bit of a recap, 2023. Oh, there you go, 2 hours, that's nothing in America, isn't it? 2 hours, just down the road. Yeah. Sorted. Get yourself down to Hell's Heroes. So yeah, 2023. I can't remember when the last live stream was, it's quite a while, so it'd be nice to do a little recap of 2023, which seems to be a pretty good year for us. We finished on probably the best gig we've ever played. We're kind of like building up a bit of a, I suppose not necessarily building up a team, but like we're building up how we're doing shows better. One big thing this year has been kind of fixing what's going on with my vocals and losing my voice and things. And we've got these in-ear monitors, and we've got a sound guy who makes a big difference. We've got Guitar Tech, the Angel Witch Guitar Tech. It's been helping us out, and that's been really useful. And we're trying to ramp things up and do a good job of, like when we're going to do a show, we want to do a good job of it. And it's been great to have a real sound guy and a guitar tech and everything. So it's good. So we're ramping things up. I think that the two most important things to us are our albums and our live shows. Everything else is, we want to improve everything that we're doing. But at the core of what we do is the music, and so a lot of our focus goes into that. So rehearsals and improving our show, and we've got lots of big bold ideas about that. But yeah, 2023 we had some breakthroughs, we had some good moments. We ended on a high really with the Green Lung show and sold out Electric Ballroom. We had an absolute blast. It was great, and we're just enjoying playing shows more than ever. I think it feels like we've got a good thing going. So 2023 was good. We featured in too many to count of those kind of end of year album of the year or lists and things like that. And it was great that we got proper features in Metal Hammer magazine. I think we were 17 or something, and 20 in Classic Rock, I think it was. And so it's good. It feels like we've got a good thing going, and it feels like there's some momentum and some new types of momentum, maybe mainstream, rock magazines and things like that. So it's good. Climbing the ranks, yeah, that's a good way to put it. And at the same time as kind of preparing for these shows, I also managed to write another album, which we're kind of doing demos and things like that. So we've got lots of new music coming along. We're by no means ready to box it off, but we're doing lots of recordings, and we managed, I think it was like November and December was quite a heavy time for us. We were practicing every week, but doing lots of recording and things. And in the week, I'm doing lots of demos, and you know, like I'll have a song, and then it'll be demo 1, demo 2, demo 3. But yeah, Happy New Year, Sezzy. We've got a new album on the way. I'm just talking about last year. We were really busy. I was ready for the break by December because it was just lots of recording and demoing and editing and just trying to get songs together, and really, because I'm driven, you know, with the music and songwriting now. I like to get another album out. I like to do a really good job of it. As I said before, it's like the core of what we do is our albums, and it's been really fun actually, and it's been nice to kind of have Aaron playing in the room. It was 4 of us. Last time it was just 3 of us in the room, and it's just not quite the same. Having a full band in the room recording, it's great. So yeah, it's a good year. You know, obviously last year we released our latest album, and it's done really well. And we released the Christmas single, which is always fun, and I really enjoy that sort of thing. So it's good. With some great shows. We played in places we never played before, and all in all, it just felt like a very successful year. And just thanks for all of you folks for supporting us and being part of it, like coming to the shows and joining the fan club and supporting us in that way. It's been great. It's feeling good. So Bloodstock was a highlight for us. It's a shame that I kind of lost my voice, but it was still an opportunity there. But yeah, should we start the Q&A? I've got a few questions here racked up. I like the look of these questions. Do you follow / have you followed, or do you follow a guitar practice routine? If so, how does it look? I've always struggled with that a little bit, to be honest. I have a few go-to exercises when it comes to a guitar routine. And some of it's really basic, but I think a lot of the time you want to practice the basic stuff. So there's the sort of spider scale, the chromatic exercise, and the box, and actually just the pentatonic, but just getting better at the pentatonic. You know, there's a lot of mileage there, I think, and like just basic scales, you know, major scale, Aeolian scale, so just a bunch of stuff, really simple stuff, but doing different runs, combination, rather than just running up and down the scale, just doing staggered, you know, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, sort of hard to describe really. But yeah, scale stuff. I like to play Hall of the Mountain King. It's good for kind of using all of the different fingers and playing on lots of different strings and going up the guitar neck. Is there something wrong with the sound? No. It is louder and quieter. Let's have a look. Not sure, really. Not sure really what I would do with the sound, but let's have a listen. Oh, it's quiet. Let's have a listen. Oh, it's quiet. It's very quiet, isn't it? Tip 1, start every day by practicing Smoke on the Water. Maybe I'll just get closer to the camera. I can't get much closer, otherwise the phone stand's going to be on me. Yeah, I'll just go a bit closer to the camera. This is the worst sofa, really. I should have brought the cushion. I sometimes have the cushion behind me so I can sit like this. I'll put my coat behind me. That's comfy. Let's try that. There we go. I'll just sit closer. Cool. Right. What does that look like? That looks good. It's all good. Yeah, what was the other question? What's the, between you and Big Alec, I'm guessing was Big Al, what's the trickiest Witch Hazel song to tackle? Well, yeah, I mean, between us, I always feel a little bit like in some ways we've practiced it so much it's no longer. The thing is, the songs that are difficult get loads of attention, then they don't become the difficult songs anymore. So like for ages we spent loads of time on I Am Redeemed just to get that really tight. And so in some ways it's the most precarious song, like we're harmonising a solo fairly fast. But we've just done so much practice, it's like, oh, that went right again. You know, it shows we don't kind of fluff it up very often. So yeah, one thing is I find is, well, again, it's had a lot of attention, but trying to sing Dry Bones and play the chords, like I've got to do this bit that goes da da do 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 ba 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 do 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 do, and it's do 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 do, and I'm trying to sing on top of it. That's fairly confusing. It took me a little while, but again, I give loads of attention to it, and it isn't an issue anymore. So like, songs are tricky until they're not, until I just put the hours in. So I don't want to like focus on trying to concentrate on guitar. I want to put on a good show. So I put the hours in really to the practice. You know, it has that note as well. I've got to sing and then do 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 whilst I'm singing the note, and it's a bit confusing. Was there another question? I don't think there was. Is Aaron recording drums for a new album, or is it you again? Aaron's recording the drums. Yeah, Chain Yourself. Again, it's a good example, Chain Yourself. It was difficult until it wasn't. Although it still has probably Chain Yourself, again, being a newer song as well. The things with Chain Yourself, it just feels like it's about to fall apart every time I play it. But it goes okay. But it's kind of on the edge, trying to sing and play it. There's something about it. I think if we played it more. Yeah, Aaron's playing the drums. New album. I'm not doing that again. I can't deal with the stress of having to do drums on top of everything else. I've got enough to do. So yeah, I'm very glad that Aaron is doing the drums. And you know, from the recordings we got so far, he's doing a great job. You know, and actually, you know, I listened to, I don't know what it was. I don't know whether it was, I feel like it might have been listening to Angel of Light, listen to the live version of Angel of Light, and seeing some of the fills that Aaron puts in. I was like, oh, I wish I did that. That was great. You know, he adds some stuff in there that it's just a great addition, you know. But I don't envy him having to work with our producer, because I think that was one of the things. It's like, it's not just a case of recording another instrument on the album. It's a case of recording drums with Ed Turner as the producer. That's why it's so difficult, because it's like, oh, I need to do this, and you need your hi-hats really even, and you need to not overplay them, and your bass drums need to be really consistent. I don't want to time correct your bass drums, and you need to play the bass drums louder here, and you just feel like you've been pulled apart with the producer. But the result is always like, oh, I understand why you wanted us to do it like that, because the result is better than what we would have done with no guidance. Yeah, Aaron's doing great. He's a different player these days. Oh, it's a pleasure, Joe. We had an absolute blast. We really did. I honestly think it was probably our best show. I'm not sure. I mean, it was definitely up there in one of our most enjoyable shows. I think we've had some moments. I mean, we played in Sweden at Muscle Rock, and it was off the back of a London show, which I felt a bit disappointed with. The sound guy was, well, I don't think it was just the sound guy. The sound equipment just was so limited, and the sound guy just wasn't really working with us, and it was a nightmare. And I blew my vocals out very early, and I just felt like really disappointed with my vocal performance. We all played guitar well, but I just lost my voice. Yeah. And at the ballroom, and in, I'm sorry, in Muscle Rock the next day, I was expecting to do the same. I was on vocal rest. I had a good sleep, but I managed to go on stage, and there was loads in the monitor, and um, I managed to actually sing without losing my voice, and it was just such a pleasure to do that show. We weren't expecting it. No, but yeah. And the thing is, again, with the ballroom is, we've got the ballroom. It's a great PA system, but we had our own sound guy as well, who'd done the night, the Manchester show the night before, and he did Bloodstock for us, and he knows what he's doing. Mark is our sound guy, and he does a great job on front of house. And obviously, I've got these in-ear monitors. That makes a big difference, so I know exactly how much air to put in to my vocal cords without blowing my voice out, and so I kept going all the way to the end. It's great. Thanks a lot, Joe. Yeah, it's going really well for us. We feel very lucky. Feel very privileged. It's all good vibes at the moment in the Witch Hazel camp. Things, there's a sense in which we are very lucky, and I think that there's also a sense in which we'll always feel privileged, and because we always are very privileged to do what we do. But there's another sense in which you kind of make your own luck, and there's been years of kind of like a lot of up and downs with Witch Hazel where I've been like, this is so much effort. Is it really is it going anywhere? And I always, feel sad for a day and get up the next day and carry on, back to the grind. But it does feel like we're enjoying some of that kind of that length of effort. We were kind of enjoying the fruits of our labour, so to speak. So yeah, my voice seems to go quite high. I don't know how. I think I just copied French heavy metal bands, the falsetto, and tried things out for many years, really. Just experimenting with my voice. And also kind of learning about it as well. I've kind of taught myself things. But I've actually started singing lessons last year. And luckily, apparently I'm doing the high pitched stuff. I'm doing a good job of it. My falsetto, my vibrato, when we're up and down, is meaning that it's saving my throat and my high pitched stuff. So I can always do the high stuff because the technique's good. It's just I need to keep the support for all the lower notes as well, and everything in between, head voice and all that. But yeah, thank you very much. It does go fairly high, not as high as Justin Hawkins, but one day I'll get there. That's the goal. I saw The Darkness recently and was very inspired, actually. I also found out he runs 10k with his brother every day. They do a daily 10k, and I'm like, I'm starting to realise this about all the bands that you love. You're like, you hear all this rock and roll stuff, and you see Iron Maiden, The Darkness, clearly, some other people. There's some other people I've forgotten about, but they're all like health freaks and fitness freaks. And I think what happens is they get up to their 30s, like I have, and realise, I can't sustain drinking and drinking alcohol, eating what I want, and not exercising, and somehow manage to put on a heavy metal show. It's such high energy. If you're screaming and running around, you can't expect to just be fit. You have to be an athlete. And it's taken me a long time to realise this. It's I get up at 6 every day now and do my star jumps and jog on the spot, do my weights, and so that'll pay off at some point. But the plan is to stay fit, not just do a short spurt, just getting into a routine. But maybe one day I'll be like Justin Hawkins and do my 10k a day, and maybe I'll be able to sing a bit higher because of it. Who knows? When will Witch Hazel do a live album? Is it in the long-term plan? It very much is in the long-term plan. Our producer's very keen as well, so Yeah, our producer's keen to. Do you know what's been in terms of um, unexpected progress towards a live album? Has been with the recording unit we've been using recently. It's kind of like if you want it to, it works on Wi-Fi, so you can plug in up to 16 inputs, microphones, so you can do full drum kit, guitars, everything. And then each one of those can go into a computer or whatever, and it's working really well just for a normal, like it's usually like a live recording unit. It's very portable and has like an antenna and works off Wi-Fi, and you can connect it remotely. So it's really useful for recording live shows, but it's working really well because there's so many microphones. We can fully mic up the drum kit and have all the inputs for the guitars and bass. So now we know how to use that. That's going to be super useful for recording live shows. So if we do like a 2-week stint at some point, we can just take it and record it every single night. And our producer's very keen. And actually, kind of like, you know, like most live albums, do the extra things to kind of polish it up. Oh, I'm glad you've been introduced to Phantom Spell. Halas is a good one as well. Yeah, I like doing the killer chorus. It's like people were like, oh, this is a killer. It was almost, I suppose it was a killer chorus series. I didn't really necessarily see it like that. I kind of just felt like, oh, let's shoot this quick thing. It felt interesting to me and enjoyable to do like a heavy metal chorus on the piano and sing it. And also, it's kind of nice because I don't always feel like I have a lot of time to learn songs, and so it's been a nice way to mix learning new things with putting something on social media, which is always good. Yeah, it's been a nice kill two birds with one stone, really, I suppose. It's been fun. I'm really enjoying I'm kind of learning, like, oh, you'd use that chord. Like, cause what I do is I'll listen to it and then I'll just work it out quickly and then I'll film the video. That's because it's very quick for me to do. So ideally, I'd like to get one out every day and really kind of do all this silly algorithmic real TikTok nonsense. And yeah, get one out every day. It's quite easy to do if I could spend like an hour and probably do at least 7 videos. So it's kind of quite good and get one out every day. Would it be easier to do what would it be easier to do first? A live album or an acoustic album? I think they would have their own challenges. I think the idea of an acoustic album, I'll probably have more experience and be able to give an accurate answer as to how long that might take. But a live album is still kind of like, I'm not really sure how that works. I mean, perhaps is a live album just a case of doing a tour, recording every night, and sending it to our producer? Is that all that is needed? Perhaps. We just need to book a tour and bring our little box, and we're good to go. Maybe. I'm not an expert. You know, this is why we have a producer. I just write the music. But an acoustic album, the thing is, I've realised whilst it was a painful process to kind of arrange a whole acoustic album and then start recording it and then realise it wasn't working. It was a painful process, but it was also a very helpful process. I think I realised that an acoustic album, I'm guessing that an acoustic album would take more time than a regular Witch Hazel album. I think there's going to be a lot more experimentation, a lot more of in the room, trying things out, and a lot more back and forth. And it's something I think we all need to do in a room together, acoustically. Do you know what I mean? Like, to get that sound. We were trying to manufacture it between just me and Ed remotely through a pandemic, and we thought that it was going to be simple because we're like, once we'd done Old Lang Syne, we're like, oh wow, we could just make it happen. Um, so, what was I going to say? Yeah, acoustic album. This is the tricky thing with an acoustic album, is that from our label's perspective, whilst they're more than happy to put it out, it's a case of it's going to take more time and probably be less commercially successful because we have a fan base that expect a certain style. But it's not always about commercial success, and we'll get it out. I think, to be honest, in all honesty, it would be nice to do 5 albums and then do something different. So, an acoustic album or a live album feels like a good thing, a comfortable thing. You could probably put a live album, a DVD out just from the footage says he has taken. Yeah, probably. Well, that's the thing with the acoustic album. That's the idea to start with, at the very least, is existing songs and making acoustic versions. But it's a case of making sure that the arrangements are not just, oh, that just sounds like, because we want it to be interesting enough. We want the acoustic versions to be almost like a reimagining. So, for example, take Freedom Battle. It's great to do Freedom Battle like that, but can it sound a bit less like the original song and it goes somewhere else? It kind of like, oh wow, that sounds like, I can hear that it's the same song, but it's arranged differently. And so we want it to be special and different, because it would be an artistic endeavour. It would be a labour of love. And I think it's the one thing I've learned about, particularly if you take an album like Pentecost, I went to a lot of effort to kind of make every single individual song as good as it was. And if I've learned anything from doing that album, is that every album needs to be like that. There's no point us putting an album together and going, oh, this is good, there's some good, there's a good set of 10 songs. I'm like, no, every song has to be, like, you get one chance to do every album, don't you? And so it would be the same with the acoustic album, and I feel like it's more complex. In some ways, it's almost simpler to do a regular Witch Hazel album. Yeah, I mean, Dry Bones was nice, because Dry Bones felt like it took on a different style altogether. Like, for example, I think instead of just doing Psalm and Dark Ages and the already acoustic tracks, it's a case of doing the heaviest songs and making them really gentle and doing lots of different things with them. Oh yeah, the Campfire Tales EP. I was a little bit disappointed that he did that. I was like, Kyle, you've stolen my idea. He did his own acoustic EP. Yeah, I love what he did there. But I think what we want to do is like a full, that band Pentangle with all their interesting stuff, and I've got loads of ideas. Like the way Gentle Giant did some of the flutes and stuff like that. We've got so many ideas there. We want to try some stuff out. But yeah, until it comes out, I'll have the Muscle Rock recording on repeat. There you go. Yeah, you've got 3 years of Muscle Rock recordings to listen to for now. But yeah, I mean, really should professionally record the Muscle Rock shows, shouldn't we? Or we won't be playing Muscle Rock this year, I don't think. Yeah, I've been encouraging Andy to get on vocals. He said he tried. What did he do? He said I tried, but I can't do it. But I think we need to revisit it. I think he needs to try again. Because you should try and try again. We tell the kids that. If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. So I'll be reminding Andy of this truth. Need Surrender on a CD. Oh yeah, that recording. Yeah, I thought about that the other day. I thought, what are we going to do with that? I don't really know. Mac is back. Charlene is back. I'm trying to think of something that rhymes with Charlene that sounds like, I don't know, that you're back, but not back. The Mac is back is better. Uh, if you'll need guest rockers, Rit is here. Don't mind me and my cashews. New year, new me. And all that. This is my tea. I'm like a little, I don't know, rodent or something. Snuffling my snacks. Trying to make the gains. Protein. Oh dear. I mean, like, for example, I saw Justin Hawkins jump up onto the drum riser, do a handstand, and carried on doing a handstand, and with his legs, he was getting everyone to clap on the offbeat with his legs, whilst doing a handstand, completely solid, and then proceeded to flip off, and then scream down the microphone. And I thought, I sometimes get tired after a 35-minute set of just standing there and playing guitar and singing. He's just like running around. I need to sort my health out. So, new year, new me, and all that. That's the plan. Did you sneeze or name the nut you're eating? I like what you did there, Keith. It took me a second. Cashew. Very nice, Keith. Oh, good. We chuckle that. All of your albums are 10s for me, but I'd replace either He Shall Reign or We'll Be Strong with Surrender. Or you might have some contentious, I don't know what the word is. I need to swallow a thesaurus. My vocabulary is lacking. You might have some resistance to that opinion of taking We'll Be Strong off Prelude. I think it's probably one of my favourites actually after that. It was the single, wasn't it? It was like, it felt like a wild thing to do, to put the last song as the single. But anyway. Yeah, it feels like, in some ways, it felt a bit like Surrender was the Japanese bonus track. But it never ended up being a Japanese release. We were just, what should we do with this? I think it ended up on a charity compilation. Into the Deep, Bad Omen Records compilation, I think. I'm sure we'll have use of it at some point. We should do, at some point down the line, we should do in the vaults, old stuff that just never got used, and do a release like that. Funny. Did you sneeze or name the nut you're eating? Fantastic. Any update about next live shows? Or shall I have a look at my list? So, in my list, the whole load of band practices. 2nd of March, we're in Germany. The 23rd of March, we're in Hell's Heroes, USA. And then there's something happening in May, which is not confirmed, but it might be Germany. I don't know. Maybe. I think it's Germany. And then the 18th of May, we're in France, Courts of Chaos. The 25th of May, we're in Newcastle. And then the 13th of July, we're at Masters of Rock in Czechia. In August, we're still waiting for an invitation to Wacken Open Air. I don't think, isn't it sold out? I don't think we'll be playing that. It's sold out, isn't it? Is it? I don't think we'll be playing that festival. But I don't know, do they still book bands when it's sold out? I don't really know. Anyway. And then September, I think it's like Germany, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, We could up to 4, maybe 5 German shows, but lots of them are unconfirmed, so we can't announce them. But you'll know when you know. If I had to make an acoustic Witches record, I'd have to resist the urge to chuck Mellotron on every track. Yeah, I think our producer would as well. Or do an amped up re-recording for the new album, because the band's sound has definitely evolved from the first album. Yeah, I mean, we could do. I mean, I've actually, it's crossed my mind. I like the idea of, you know, going back and re-recording things. I think like Pentecost was nice sounding, but I feel like Pentecost could be even better. It's like every time we record an album, we learn stuff and go, oh, we can do this better now. Hello, Janie, how's it going? Oh, congratulations. How do you pronounce is it Lenjo? Lenjo? Nice name. How's the little one doing? Save my list. There we go. Save my list. Lenjo. Alright, cool. Nice. Getting much sleep? or do we not talk about that? Yeah, I think after, on reflection, I do feel like Pentecost is the strongest songwriting so far. Oh, well that's good then. Just sleeps. Aren't you lucky? I do hate you a little bit. We weren't lucky. We were unlucky twice. we aged very fast in a very short space of time through lack of sleep. What, 7 hours a night without a break? Are you having a laugh? I hate you even more. That's ridiculous. Oh my goodness. That would have been nice. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, I'm like, oh yeah, Pentecost. I mean, I actually prefer the sonic quality of Sacrament to Pentecost. Overall, I think it's kind of closer to where we're going. I think we can go even further. But I feel like Pentecost, the songwriting is just kind of like here above Sacrament. It's not like Sacrament is like terrible. But I'm like, oh yeah, but like Dry Bones and Archangel and I'm Redeemed. That's some of my favourite songs, you know. Yeah, I don't even know how did those songs even happen? It's so weird, songwriting. Honestly, it does feel like you listen to a song and you're like, apparently I wrote that. I don't know how it happened. I just don't really feel like I'm like, do you know what I mean? I don't know how to describe it. I don't feel like I manufactured that. I feel like it just magically appeared. Does that make sense? Maybe it's hard for it to make sense. If there are other songwriters, maybe it makes sense to you. Or maybe there's other analogies, like it's not just songwriting, maybe it's other creative endeavours like art, physical art, and maybe it's like, it can be creative writing, things like that. You think, oh wow, like, say you wrote a novel, and it's really interesting, and there's an allegory there. You could probably sit back and go like, oh, I wrote that, and it feels very strange. Just sit back and go, oh wow, that just happened. So far, with Alex and Andy and Aaron, are not contributing a terrible amount. Not either because I'm trying to make this very clear. They're not contributing because they're lazy. But they're not also contributing because they're not allowed to. Does that make sense? I'm open to ideas. But it just feels like we've got kind of a good thing going. The process seems to have evolved into a place where I'll write a song, I'll record a demo, because the best way of, I always feel like recording a demo is the best way of everyone discovering what the song's about. In fact, it's a good way of me discovering what the song is about. Like, I can't fully sit back and hear unless it's been recorded. So making demos is kind of like almost a necessity. Once the demo's done, it's kind of like, yep, sounds good. Do you know what I mean? And so there's not a whole lot of contribution needed. In fact, a lot of the time the guys go, yeah, this is great. Pretty much every time, like, this is great, or this is crap. Most of the time it's not crap. You know, they're like, oh, this is great, or perhaps their contribution is, oh, this is great, but I'm not sure about this bit, maybe. But to be honest, most of the time, Ed Turner is the one that's saying, like, you need to do this, change that, or even he'll come up with like a background guitar line, and that's a level of contribution. But on the whole, I'm kind of composing the song start to finish, if that makes sense. And it feels good to do it that way, and it feels like it makes sense, and everyone else feels like that as well. So yeah, but you never know. I think one day it would be nice, particularly when we have more of a luxury of time. You know, we have almost like a process at the moment where I'm kind of like building an album together, and it feels like it's, you know, like I'm very purpose driven with the album, and I kind of make it happen, and then we're like, right, let's go, and then we're in the zone of practicing and recording, and it would be nice to have the luxury of saying, look, instead of me doing what I usually do, because the thing is, like, months go by, and if you're not careful, you can go 3, 4, 5 years. I could easily do that with not, you know, I could go that long if I wasn't actively always writing, and you know, if I kind of was like, just watch Star Wars instead, you know, that's what I would do. If I wasn't songwriting, I would be like sitting here, Disney Plus, Mandalorian, that's, you know, eating sweets. But instead, I'm eating nuts and chatting to you good folks and talking about. I actually find these live streams very useful, by the way. I'm an external processor, so I am using you all. You're being used right now because I find this quite cathartic. You know, so instead of sitting with Pick a Mix and Star Wars, I've got cashew nuts and live stream, and we're discussing the process of witch hazel. Anyway, it would be good though, one day, to say, look, witch hazel's, you know, big and famous. We've got the luxury now. Sit back, and we're going to spend 2 years, and we're just going to record every week and just start writing songs together. That would be great, a luxury. Who knows? It might be even better. Probably would. But right now, like, it'd be better to have the albums. You know what I mean? I don't know whether that makes sense. I think it probably makes sense. On an album, Eternity by Freedom Call, there is a song called Ages of Power. There's an excellent section with black metal side vocals, just for a moment. I think Witch Hazel could pull off something similar. Light versus Darkness, with Andy providing a black metal growl. Andrew Shackleton as the Darkness. Yeah, I like the idea. I feel like I've discussed with Andy, like, we'd like to do like side project stuff like that, because I do like extreme stuff, but it's interesting. I might listen to that. Ages of Power, let's write that down. It sounds like an interesting idea. But yeah, Andy could come on and be the voice of Satan, and I could be like screaming. I'll be Jesus, I'll be screaming, and then Andy can respond as Satan with his growly voice. We could have like a dialogue. Oh, when though? Because, you know, that's how the story goes. Oh, that's a good idea. I'm always open to ideas. This is like a steering group for Witch Hazel every week. Live stream is Come share your ideas, and we'll put them into the minutes, and I'll implement them in the week, and we'll see. Anyway, cashew nuts for tea, eh? I don't really mind. I quite like cashew nuts. I think they might be my favourite. I learned the other day that Brazil nuts are not nuts. I don't know why they're called Brazil nuts. It's a seed, not a nut. Knobs? What are you on about, eating knobs? Nuts. Oh yeah. There's these salted almonds, like roasted salted almonds from Tesco. Just so nice. I looked on the ingredients, there's just loads of crap. I'd rather just have pure nuts. Cashew nuts, 100%. That's all I want. It's better for you, isn't it? But yeah. Well, yeah, I mean salted peanuts, any salted nuts, it's great, isn't it? But I can't have that much salt. I eat too much bacon to add more salt into my diet. Witch hazel. Have I ever considered witch hazel a full-time job? I have considered it as a full-time job. The approach I'm taking, from the information that I have gathered and understand, is that we're in a new music industry, and so the way in which I go full-time is not going to be the way that people went full-time in the 70s, 80s, even 90s, where bands just exploded and got a record deal and lived happily ever after. In fact, a lot of those contracts, what bands had to do is, I don't want to be in the place where I'm shackled to a record deal where they throw loads of money at you, but it has to be recouped, and so you have to endlessly be on tour to somehow try and recoup the costs of even recording that album. And so, I just don't want to be in that situation. There's so many, even these days, the record labels are still offering record deals that are so outdated. It's like that's about exactly the same as what you would have got in the 90s, and it's just not acceptable. We're talking, your standard record deal is 80% of profit is the record labels, and 20% of profit is the artists, plus some deductions. So you're on page 2, 3 of the contract, and that 20% has gone down to 16% because there's packaging deductions and there's all this extra stuff. And if you do this, then that doesn't count towards the album being recouped. I know of a band where when they go on tour and sell their own albums, that money doesn't go towards recouping the cost of the album. It's like, that's the main way of selling albums, going on tour. It's just unbelievable. And so it's nuts, you could say. It's absolutely nuts. Yeah, going full time is difficult, but you have to do it in the way that a lot of people are doing it, which is it's not being shackled to a record label, and it's not leaving your family for months on end to somehow try and recoup the costs. It's a case of you're still doing a lot of things DIY. I mean, one thing we've learned is that the less it costs us to record, the quicker we can recoup. I know it's so obvious, but we've also realised that we're managing to get better sounds 4 albums later doing it ourselves. That isn't the same for every band. Other bands sound better when they go into a studio. But we've realised, and actually from going into the studio and learning things, we realise we can do it without a studio. So that's almost progress in of itself. For example, if we can save like $5,000, we can recoup faster, and then, like the cash flow and we can make £5 more, and you think actually in a year, that's like 1 day a week for one band member. So do you know what I mean? It's thinking practically in business. Like also like a big part of what I'm doing is the fan club. Like the dream with the fan club is the stage where right I can be supported, but also Alex and Andy and Aaron can be supported. So that needs to grow. So please spread the word about that. And if anyone isn't a fan club member, here's the plug. The link is in the description. Just check it out. Feel free to just check it out. It's there. It's set up as an option if people want to support us. And it's a growing fan club of over 100 members. So, you know, getting on the action. There is a new year, new tier option, the fan club light. So it's just really kind of a cheaper option. And it's also just an option for some people who kind of want, you know, don't want to go the whole hog, and you can get some of the regular stuff. But check it out, it's all there. Anyway, it's also like there's some people, there might be regular fan club members and they're thinking like, oh, it's a bit much every month. You can change if you want to. You can cancel that and join the light one if money's an issue. So that's an option, and you can still be part of the chat room if you're in the fan club light. So yeah, new tier, new year, whatever is my working title. But there you go. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I do want it to do. I do want to do Witch Hazel full time, but it might not look how it has traditionally looked. And you are right, Sezzy. I'm not willing to be away from my family for months on end. I think it's also like I got young kids at the moment, so it would be slightly different as they get older as well. So I think it's a case of, you know, we're at the place now where my kids would understand a bit more. Because I have been away for about 2 weeks in the studio. But for example, if we record ourselves of an evening, that frees up 2 weeks in a year where we're not recording and we can go on tour. That's kind of the plan for next year. That's what we're starting to talk about this year. So we'd have to plan it this year, which we're planning on planning it, and then 2025 we're going to see what tour looks like for us and do the thing that makes the most sense for us. But yeah, that's a long-winded answer to the short answer is yeah, we all want to do it full time. We love it. But that's going to take a little while, because it's like, you know, just a kind of regular living wage for 4 people is a lot of money every year, isn't it? And so to generate that, I mean, just purely practically speaking, it's a lot of fan club members and it's a lot more album sales. Yeah, but we're working towards it, and you know, and we do work hard. The thing is, we all work full time and we still manage to tour. You know, there's plenty of us that we work a full week and then we fly out on a Saturday morning. Even like Andy, for example, who's shift work, he works all week. He'll fly out on the Saturday, he'll do the show, we'll come back Sunday morning, and he's in work Sunday evening. And you know, like we work hard, and we don't plan on slowing down. And that's a lot of the fruits that we're enjoying is of this intense labour. But it would be nice, and Andy was saying, it would be nice at some point to make these things a bit more comfortable for ourselves. You know, like have a weekend where if we're doing a Spanish gig, for example, where we say, look, we're going to fly back on Monday. We're going to enjoy the weekend in Spain. You know, take advantage of it. But right now it's get in, get out, back to work, back on the treadmill. So yeah, good questions, folks. I like this. Nice. So by the way, if the 7-inch single offer is still there, so if you join the deluxe tier, you still get a free 7-inch single, and I'm still donating that to West End Impact. So if you want to support a great charity who do amazing things and a multitude of things, please join the deluxe tier. The first 3 months I'm donating to Impact. I want to support them. You'll get free test press, you get a bunch of stuff. Sezzy and Keith will tell you all about that. And who else is deluxe here? Can't see anyone. I'm sure there was someone else. Anyway, but join the deluxe tier. Shout if there's any deluxe members here. You can all tell us how amazing it is. But yeah, get yourself joined to that. I know it's pricey, but it's kind of like very exclusive. So, oh, there we go. John White's here. There we go. Oh, you were there with the tune-ups. I just missed your message. Tip number 2 for the stream: get all your fan club revenue in cash. And after your Texas show, drive to Vegas and put it all on black. Thank me afterwards. Yeah, we'll go and count cards. That's the thing. I don't know anything about that. Anyway, there you go. Cool. Right then, folks. I'll have to love you and leave you. I'm off home. I'm going to go to bed because I'm up first thing to do some exercise, and then I'll be driving to West Cumbria to teach ukulele. So that's what I do. And guitar and other stuff. I don't know what else I'm doing. Deluxe is great. You heard it from John. Get yourself joined. The link's in there. Check it all out if you haven't already. But there's like 4 options. So, you know, there's like a set and forget. If you just want to support the band for the price of like a coffee, literally a coffee, one coffee a month, you can, like, that would make a difference if a bunch of us did that. So please consider that. And you've got the light tier, New Year, New Tier thing I've set up. Yes, I will get on. Don't worry, Sezzy, I've got my to-do list. I'm trying to finish an album off, Sezzy, to be honest, but I'll get on with the jewel case. I'll get on with the video about the guitar gear, and also trying to sort cassette tapes out, but we'll get there. I promise a lot of things for months, Sezzy, but it's just kind of like, the to-do list is here, and then other items go, and it just happens. And these things get added. I'm trying to firefight, and I'll get there. To be honest, with the CD and the cassette tape, I do have the layout for the cassette tape. The annoying thing about the cassette, about the CD, is the guy has sent me the layout for the cassette, and I have the cassette master, and it's ready to go, but I don't have the layout for the jewel case because it's different than the digipack. So I'm waiting for that, and I'm going to send them both off for CDs and tapes, and but it'll happen. Probably. There you go, Sezzy. Despite my incompetence, he still pays his deluxe membership. Oh, there's a cassette master, Keith. You're going to want it. It's going to be, I'm doing these fancy cassettes, but you'll hear all about it when I have more information. I need to find out all the technical details. Basically, it's like short run cassettes, really good quality, but there's a new master for the Ed's done a cassette master. Very exciting, but watch this space. Cassettes, jewel case CDs coming this year. To be honest, says it's probably only going to be another month now before I get it sent off, and then it's going to be half a month before we get this. CDs and tapes are really quick, so by February, I'm going to guess you'll have your items. There you go. Right then, folks. Thanks a lot. See you next time. Yeah, get me booked for your wedding. It won't be cheap, but it'll be good. See you.